guys? Tyler from Team GOLUREMI, and today we're just gonna jump right into the video. So, I'm sure if you guys have played in goal for any extended period of time and you have not developed how to clear the ball with your weak foot, that you've run into this situation. So for me, my weak foot is my left foot. So say you receive a back pass and pressure's coming from the right side from a striker. So you take a touch wide, maybe no one's showing for you for an easy pass right in front of you. Pressure's still coming, forced to take another touch wide, and before you know it, striker's closing in on you, and you just have to play it out of bounds for a throw-in, which is a smart decision if you don't feel comfortable hitting the ball up with your weak foot. But today, I'm gonna teach you guys how to properly clear the ball with your weak foot so that you're not giving up throw-ins in your defensive third. All right, so before we jump into the actual technique on what you need to do when clearing a ball with your weak foot, is you guys need to know that if, say, you're in the center of the field, or if you have time and you can put the ball where you want to be, you want it on your right foot. So if I receive a pass coming to my left here, naturally, I'm just gonna kiss it over to my right side so I can strike it. And if I receive a ball coming on my right, I'm still just gonna keep it on my right side and just take a small touch in front. I can still spray it left, right, but you guys, when you can, you do wanna use your strong foot in game situations because it's gonna be a cleaner strike. It's gonna put whoever you give the ball to in a better position, and it's just gonna have less chances of something going wrong. All right, so the first thing you guys want to focus on is your first touch. So if you're receiving the ball from the right, you want to avoid taking your touch horizontal or even backwards, because when you have the ball going like this and you're trying to hit it back up the field, it really forces you to rotate your hips to go back up to get your body shape facing the field again. And when you're making this movement, really winding up around it, it's really easy to over-rotate, and when you strike through the ball, your shoulder is going to be facing the center of the field, and then that's where the ball is going to be going, which is a very dangerous ball to be playing when you're all the way on the left side of your goal and all the strikers are in the middle of the field. It's going to get shoved right back down your throat. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So if the ball comes back, it's here. I got to kind of reach around it, and you can just see how difficult it is to actually get the ball where you want it when you're like rotating your hips 45, 60 degrees. All right, so for your first touch, just like if you're on your strong foot, you want it out at an angle, a little bit in front. It lets you get your hips around it, hit it straight on more naturally with your body, your shape already facing up the field, which is exactly what you want. So you guys can see just what a difference the first touch makes on how this strike looks compared to the one that I hit just before. But so the next thing you guys need to focus on, once you get your touch out in front of you, a little bit of angle, is really focus on winding your kicking leg back. This is an issue that I see too many keepers having. I used to have this same issue where every time I had to go with my weak foot, I would just kind of go straight leg, just lean back, try to get a little bit of air on it. But when you do this, it gets no distance. I'll show you what I mean, because all the power comes from you actually torquing your leg and your hips and then swinging through. So when you guys just go with a little straight leg, this is what it's gonna look like. Oh, I can't even honestly, I can't even hit a ball like that anymore, but it's just not gonna work. If you guys are just leaning back, keeping this leg straight, not bending your knee, that's the result you're gonna get. All right, so now going over the actual technique of when you strike the ball. So this is gonna be different than if you're on your right foot. So say this was my right foot and I wanted to ping this 60 yards and just drive it. I'd use more of my laces, just like this, to swing through. But the reality is when you're on your weak foot, you're not gonna be expected to be pinging and driving the ball that much. Really, your main focus is gonna be just getting it over the first line of defense, which is just gonna be about in between this blue and white line up here, 20 to 25 yards. And because your main goal is gonna be getting height on the ball over actual distance, it's gonna change up your technique a little bit. All right, so the actual technique, when I hit the ball with my left foot, like I said, it's gonna be different from my right. I'm not just coming in, I'm not lacing it, I'm not going straight through the ball. I'm hitting it more with the inside of my foot right here. And when I hit it, I'll pick up my toe a little bit, get a little more lift on the ball. And like I said, I don't go straight through it. I like to kind of come on the side like that and hit it a little bit on the side of the ball. And that, as you can see, gives it that spin. And I like that spin because when I play it with my left, I like to put it up the sidelines, and then that curl will just keep it in bounds while keeping it close to the sideline, because you don't want anything going towards the middle of the field if you're clearing it, trying to relieve pressure. You want it all to the side. That's gonna be the safest place. That's where your team's gonna be. They'll have a chance to win it. And if you're unlucky and the other team gains possession, at least it's towards the side of the field and not down the middle, which is gonna make it a lot more difficult for them to counter on you. All right, just last bit of advice. When you guys are striking the ball, also make sure you're leaning back to give it just that extra lift. So put everything together is what it would look like. First touch is out. Make sure you're winding your foot up, coming across the ball almost like a curler, leaning back, and just play it up the sideline. So this is what it all looks like. And that's all you're gonna need to do. That's over the first line of defense. Hopefully I have a player right there, or if you have a target, once you guys with practice, we'll actually be able to start picking out guys or put in their general vicinity. And you're gonna be a lot better off keeping your team possession and just not giving up careless turnovers in your defensive third. All right, so that's the video, guys. So I know this is gonna be a really frustrating thing for a lot of you guys to work on, especially if you're used to being able to pick out targets and 40, 50 yards on your strong foot, and now all of a sudden you're using your weak foot and you can't even kick it 10 yards in the air to start. But it's not gonna compare to how frustrating it'll be for you guys if you spend all this time training every other aspect of the game. Say you're excellent at crosses, shot stopping, handling. When you get to the higher levels and a coach sees that you can't use your left foot, they're just gonna tell you to f off. And that's just the way it is. And the earlier you start working on it, the better off you're gonna be in the long run. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We got a bunch more videos coming. Till next time, peace.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, hit is GOLUREMI'S, control all them boys from Canada.